As you may be aware, over the last 1.5 months, the Liberia National Police has embarked on what we call a safety campaign. We're trying to ensure that we have a safety culture within the length and breadth of Liberia. Today is the motorcyclist, and I'm sure the next time we're here, we're going to actually see us probably with the truck drivers union and other stakeholders that are affected by our work. We intend to create a condition wherein the driver on the road will know when it is that he needs to put on his signal lights when he's bending. We also intend to ensure that the school-going kid will know when to cross the streets. They will know when to get on these, what we call the crosswalks. They will know when what the green lights, the red and orange lights are for. And even ourselves, as adults, some of us are not very much aware of what the rules of the road are. So with this motorcycle set, this is the emphasis today. We've tried to get off the name of no-go zone. We tried to call it now the restricted areas. So we've jointly agreed to make the road from Freeport to Central Monrovia and all part of town a restricted area for motorcycles. We also jointly agreed to consider from ELWA Junction throughout the Tottenham Boulevard and the rest of Monrovia a restricted area for motorcyclists. In the same vein, we thought what we refer to as the keke or three-wheelers will have a little bit of privilege, that is to say, they will be allowed to move from Freeport towards town through the Clarendon and Vartam corridors. Only that they will not be allowed to use the new bridge. Rather, they will go through what we call the Zulu Duma or the old bridge, go to Waterside, and they will have access to all parts of Monrovia except the Broad and Carey streets. The one from the Charlatan will come up on the bypass here, and they can go as far as Benson Street and go back into town, and they can also cross up to Maternity Center and go down the UN Drive. This MOU also speaks to what will be the penalties for violators. Of course, doing the enforcement, there will always be people who will think they should violate. And the man on my left, Mr. Creon, here has actually prevailed on us. And this is important to say, from the initial stage of this MOU, we intended to close the Somalia Drive to make it a restricted area, to make the Roberts Field Highway a restricted area. But due to his consistent plead, he asked us to give him the Somalia Drive and the Robert Field Highway. Considering the number of motorcyclists, considering the livelihood issues that are associated with it, we thought that was prudent enough to do. It is against that background that it will be allowed to come from the Roberts Field Highway. When you get at the ELWA Junction, you can go towards Painesville and also use the Somalia Drive, or say called the Japanese Freeway now. You can go through the Japanese Freeway. When you get to Freeport, you have Douala and the rest of town for you. So the cutoff point are going to be from ELWA Junction and Freeport. So basically that is what we got for you today. The penalties in here will later be read out to you. We don't want to bore you. Since I got my colleague here who have got a couple of words to say to you. We are glad for coming up to our police station, and thanks for covering this. Hereafter, we're going to symbolically sign this MOU on the table right there where you sit at.
Yeah, Honorable Ken, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. I will start by saying I am a father of a 3-month-old child, first child, and taking into consideration the love and care and concern. And this child is sick, needs an injection for healing, and knowing to the fact that the doctor advised that with this prescription, the child will live. And so knowing as a father, loving my child, having to go through the test of time, see a 3-month-old child going through injection by a medical doctor. Why do I mean? I love the motorcycle and tricycle sector so much. This is a sector that I love so dearly. Having operated commercial motorcycle for more than 8 years, serving as chairman of a parking lot, serving as a coordinator of muscle rider, and now I'm the president general of the Federation of Motorcycles and Tricycles Unions of Liberia. We've had numerous of condemnation over the period wherein people consider motorcyclists as non-living things, social comfort, and a lot of nomenclatures have been attached to us. As a president and leader of this sector, knowing that we want to rebrand this sector and making our cyclists to be recognized as agents of positive change, we strongly believe that working collaboratively and constructively with the state authorities that over the years were considered as cat and dogs between, that is, the motorcyclists, tricyclists, and police. We strongly believe that building a relationship will help keep the peace and stability of our country. There is no way wherein Joy Kenya will be a president of this sector, wherein people will consider us as reckless, wherein people will consider us as good for nothing people. I want to say here simply that there are numerous of our people that are contributing towards their family's livelihood. But it was surprising to know this sector is challenged to the extent that every day we observe the inflow of new riders. And as such, taking into consideration public safety measures is key to our sector. You may recall there have been numerous of accidents. One happened right on the Ara highway 5 minutes before I arrived on the scene, and I saw 2 Liberians lying on the ground dead. And I shed tears. It was so painful. And I also saw an accident around the Satcom Concortown Road, where one of our cyclists dropped a passenger around the Satcom, making a U-turn, he met his contaminated death. This is not what we want. And as a president, I strongly believe, although I will go through condemnation insults, but it is our responsibility to provide safety guardians for our people. So as such, we also encourage the media not to politicize what we are doing. Because remember, whenever there's a rising situation, especially from our sector, oh, the motorcycle is you. Oh, the motorcycle is you. How do you expect investors to come and invest in our country if we cannot be governed by laws? Liberia is no exception to other countries around the world. Every day I hear people praising Ghana, praising Nigeria and other countries. I've been to other places. This is not the only country that we try to put restriction. Alright? The only thing is that we should not politicize this restriction. Anything other than that, I cannot be part of it. But anything that has to do with public safety, I'm part of it. Because it is our responsibility as leaders to making sure that we keep our society safe. And one loss is one loss to all. So I want to say to you, the journalists, help us in this endeavor. And I also want to call on the lawmakers, those who are involved in inciting our cyclists and putting them in the field. You have a role to play as a lawmaker. I think what you can do is to help proffer bills that will enable our guys, when more companies come, they will be able to get a job and leave the motorcycle fee. I ran back for 8 years. Do you think to ride on motorbike is very easy? It is not an easy thing. So I know how painful it is. Our prayer is that this government should see reason to open avenues where cyclists can get opportunity. That others to come will be able to come, and others who have been there for long can lead transition. This is what we want to see. Or to see some of our lawmakers sitting on a motorcycle, living their basic function, oversight lawmaking and representation, and then getting on the field to tell motorcyclists, let's give Liberia a Bwaka or better Liberia. This is not about Bwaka, it's about the safety of this country. Our partners are coming here. International community is watching how well we're going to maintain sanity in our nation. And I strongly believe everything in this country politicized, it is unacceptable, and there's a reason why people are refusing to come and invest in our country. So I want to encourage each and every one of us. There's people. I just narrated a story of 3 months old child. So to tell you how I dearly love this sector. Alright, it's painful to see especially people who elected me to be their leader. But at times as a leader, you have to close your eyes and take some decision for the betterment of the overall of majority. And that's what we are doing. Every time I hear people, there was a time I was invited to Ghana where I served as ECOWAS youth representative to Ghana's election. One of the leaders from South Africa asked me, John, we have often heard that cyclists in Liberia are rebels. Cyclists in Liberia are not respecters of the law. It is shameful that people outside there will recognize us not as constructive contributor to the economy and the state, but rather in a negative form. But how can we change the narrative? It's by you helping us, the media. I want the media to please take charge of this. If Liberia will be safe, investors will come and invest. But if we politicize everything, I said it on school last night, this is governance time. During elections, we had our way. Everybody had their way to go. But this is governance time. When we're talking about public safety, let us not politicize it. So once again, I want to say to you, I call on you the journalists because we've listened to several media stations politicizing they taking the food from the table. Don't you think the lives have been lost? You the same people. I remember there was some media platform that were calling for this. They are the one that running all the committee bread for the table. So then why you want? We have to keep Liberia safe. So once again, Honorable Deputy for Operations, we remain committed, we remain resolute, we remain uncompromised, we remain unbending to making sure that we have a safe society called Liberia, where investors will come and invest and make Liberians to be employed. Not just riding motorbike, it's all about our life. People should not just restrict us to ride motorbike. I've always said this, thousands of us are university graduates and university students, but people are not recognizing that. But only because we sit on a motorcycle, nobody wants to respect us. It is unacceptable, and I want to frown on anyone who will reduce us to that level. We are contributing immensely to the growth and development of the state. So we are not, and I repeat, we are not taking bread from anybody's table. All right? The fact that through our negotiation, you listen to the Deputy RG for Operations, there were other areas we advocated that it should be open to our people to run. Even Central Monrovia, we have some parking stations in Central Monrovia. You have access to crossing various points. So you want to be, and say you ride on the knee riot, we talk about training. So one of the things we are calling other partners, there will be massive training. In this document, we have a portion that I talk about massive and compulsory training on road and public safety and the respect of rule of law by every motorcycle and tricycle rider. Very soon, we will be introducing or calling for motorcyclists. We want to uniform every commercial cyclist. It was surprising to note. Every time I hear, oh, they check my phone. Oh, in fact, they check my jerry's. You think that's what I want to hear? Once upon a time, we were invited to one of the embassies. Do you think Joy FKU representing the sector is for my name to be tarnished negatively? No. We want to do the right thing and be on the safe side of history. That while we were there, even if people want to criticize, right? But we will do the right thing. So once again, Honorable RG will remain committed and remain supportive to making sure that cyclists are law abiding. So we call every motorcycle and tricycle rider. You don't want to be against the law and you believe that you cannot be restricted, the law will take a course. We will not tolerate anybody take respecting the law, especially honor our watch. Let's continue to be peaceful. But one thing I continue to say, we will continue to advocate for our cyclists, and no one will take advantage of our cyclists, especially when it reach to our decks, that we will not get into it. But in a CV, be a respecter of the law. Thank you all so much.
So the Deputy Inspector General will provide us quick information, and afterwards we'll take your questions.
So I thought to also let you all know that the effective commencement date of these enforcements will be on the 15th of May 2024. We heard in other corners that enforcement was starting a couple of days ago. No action fear us. We are responsible for law and order, and that is our primary responsibility. As long as we've resolved to enforce to begin on the 15th, we are going to start on the 15th, and we expect that all of us as citizens will be in full adherence to the law. Let's all remember that if you don't get on the motorcycles, you're not going to ride. If you don't hire the services. Of course, nobody wants to do a jolly ride. It's because we're chartering them. It's because we're riding on the cycles. That's why they're coming in those ones. So, before I close, I would like to encourage the general public to be in adherence with the rule of law. That is to say, from the 15th of May, please don't get on a motorcycle from beyond ERW Junction to Monrovia and from Freeport to Monrovia. Thank you very much.
We'll take your questions, and please, your questions should be related to the information as provided to you. And please do not ask question in question because of time's sake. So we'll take you.
Yes,
Please call your name and your institution.
My name is Daniel Cohen. I report for FM. My concern is about NGOs, motorbikes, and journalists who are also flying this area and are being restricted by this.
Well, this is not a new undertaking. We started this thing sometimes in 2012, 2013. And of course, to every general rule, there are exceptions. That is to say, there are people who are into food delivery services. There are people who are into meal delivery services. There are other professionals that have got their work to be done in different forms and manners. Of course, there will be remedy available. We intend to give what we call access passes that will have a duration, and then they will always be renewed. Yes, there will be a remedy to it.
Yeah, when will the access pass be available?
We will let the public know as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Prince.
So my name is Prince, and I report for Brown FM and also focus on authority. So my question goes to the president of the Cyberlist team. So since this news hit the public, some of your very members has criticized you of being a partisan of the Liberia party. That is why you are carrying on this negotiation. Some of them also allege that you did not meet other union in the sector, and this action is intended to gather some of them who do not support the party. How do you respond to that? The A to that, the B to that rather is one of the things raised by them when I spoke with some of them was that when those restrictions have been placed on them, the enforcers from your union can so now take away their motorbike and then report it to the police and then get missing. How do you intend to work with the police in ensuring that those things cannot
Just before Mr. Kino come in, let me begin it. You know, this is just a new methodology that we are being as a people's police. We're trying to build a consensus in our enforcement. Let's all remember that the police is responsible for the maintenance of law and order. So we're not under any legal obligation to consult the leadership of motorcyclists or any other group as far as the enforcement of the laws are concerned. But because time have changed and we want to have a consensus building, it was against that background that we got in touch with the motorcycle union and taking us to where we are today. So I thought that was important to make clear before Mr. Kino can go there.
So let me firstly rubbish the statement, issue of partisanship, right? This is governance time. I said it from my intro. During election in Liberia, everybody has a role. And even you as a journalist, you can't tell me you did not vote. So you want to deny me of my constitutional right? It is my right, all right? But when it comes to public safety. I think it is for all, not for certain partisans. No. What we are talking about, we are not calling anybody name. But the fact is that we want to provide public safety. Thank you. And the issue of the enforcement for we are not started. So how will somebody say start to say arrested? What happened in the past will not happen under our regime. We have said it. In fact, the issue of the violation, police were given back up to $50, $60 US ticket before. During our negotiation, we decided that no policeman will give any motorcycle or plate above ticket above 2,000 because of their report. So these are some of the things we are discussing. There are things that we saw in the past happening. We want to make sure that we don't see them. But you, the journalists, once again have to help us. All right? We are not discussing party here. We're discussing state. Thank you.
So we'll take the comment and then we'll get some comments.
Okay, my name is Never Gamen Lomo. I work for the News Public Trust. Mr. John, I would like to know how many cyclists do you have in Monrovia? The total number of cyclists you have.
Just in Monrovia, we have over 150,000. In Monrovia. Just in Monrovia. So if you see 20 persons running around,
I'm making because I want to just go like this and then we are done.
Thank you so much. My name is Strogon Flana and I report for Spoon Network. To the police, somebody who would like to know how prepared you are in terms of manpower, and those who are saying that they will, after the 15th, their intention is to come and protest, to demand you that the day should be extended. How prepared are you?
Well, this is the state. We adequately prepared to manage any situation in town. We've got a duty to ensure the safety of the citizenry and residents within our borders. Capability is not an issue. What we intend to do is to make sure that our actions are less confrontational. That is the reason why we're trying to do consensus in the discharge of our duty in this new dispensation.
So my name is Michael Bayo and I report for Sky FM, Sky TV. My question goes to the Deputy Inspector General.
Yes, please.
We witnessed the police enforcing such law before. Specifically, they were also doing what we call exam colors to motorbike flying
Color coding.
color coding. And we are now seeing the police coming back today because when they started, they ended another way. Today, you guys are coming back with enforcement. We want to know how prepared are you to continue this enforcement? Is it that this going to continue or you will just witness another maybe few years of it and then come back to start up?
So to let you know, I was a part of the team that successfully had the no-go zone a couple of years back, between 2012 to 2013. I was the immediate deputy to the office I'm sitting in today. I was the 105. So I was the guy in charge of the field. And we succeeded in making sure that motorcycles did not plow certain part of our roads. And it reached a point that we didn't have to deploy. Everybody knew exactly what their boundaries were. So yes, sustainability is a concern. It's going to be sustained. Our concern is we learned from the past. It was more confrontational to some extent, and we intend to make it very less confrontational. That is the essence of this whole consensus building exercise. You have gotten on the road yesterday or tomorrow and say, you know what, these are the cutoff point, no motorcycles going to fly here. Newsmen carry the news. And we're saying no. Time have changed. We consider the number of motorcyclists in Liberia. We consider it's a livelihood issue. We know how many persons survive on these cycles. So we thought to build consensus with them. So we can be assured that we want to sustain them. But we're asking you to play your role as well. Help us in making sure that these messages are out there. And safety is all of us concerned.
Yes.
All right, I'm Steven Ramos from Joy FM. Mr. Kenya, aside from the allegation of your affiliation with political parties, we would actually like to know from you what has been your relationship with your fellow police motorcyclists? Because in recent time, we had a chat with a few of your guys, and they have continued to tell us that you, as the president or the head of the UOE, must rather in Liberia, as a matter of fact, do not have a very close relationship with many of your colleagues, especially as it relates to the ongoing regulation that is to begin very soon in Monrovia. Many of them, you are not adhering to their crafts. In fact, some of the meetings that you have had with the police, you have not gone back to them to discuss with them adequately to be able to, understand, come to one understanding as to how they can be able to engage this entire MOU with the Liberia National Police.
So again, because we didn't want to bore you, we didn't want to stand up here and reading the whole memorandum of understanding for you. It's not just an enforcement. This document encompasses a lot more other stuff. That is to say, I've got a serious training component. We're going to make sure trainings are provided for them. We started having meetings that included all of them. We encourage them to also form, so you see, it should be FONTU, the Federation of Motorcycle and Tricycle Union of Liberia, but now it's called MFONTU. So there was some merger. Their documents that will be available to you to see. They managed to form themselves into a federation. So to some extent, we know we're dealing with more than 80%, 80 to 90% of the motorcycle population. Of course, there will always be that little group that don't want to be in adherence with the law. And then be prepared to deal with those ones.
Yeah, so with that, how do you think I was elected to us if I'm not in close consultation with my people? Nobody is going to be elected for the second time if you don't have a relationship. So I can safely say to you, I enjoy the confidence of all of my leaders across the 15 counties. Let us not, there's the reason why Liberia is not developing, everything is here, right? We have our leadership in the 15 counties. And so, if you want me now to start telling you some of the developments we've done under my watch as president, you will be surprised. When I took over, we didn't have offices in all of the counties. But today we have offices in the 15 counties that you can see vividly. And we have leadership structure in all of the counties. We have our social media platform that when we just discuss an issue, we place it in our chat room, everybody will see it across the country. Besides that, when we discuss here, we will go back to our office and we call the 17 districts. Last Saturday we met with all of the 17 district coordinators in Monrovia here. Alright? So if somebody will come up and say, we were not informed, let me tell you, if somebody want to be restricted, even if they know about it, they will say, I know. So let's just take it as it is. And let's help us as a general, like I said, let's preach this message, void of politics. Let's look at the better good of our society, how we can save lives.
Yes, so
my name is Lincoln.
I ask 2 questions.
My name is Lincoln Peters, and I write for the New Dawn newspaper. This MOU will be an embarrassment if we do not have penalties attached here. So I want to know, what are the penalties attached to this MOU? And another more thing, Honorable, can you listen to you talking about informing your other colleagues, whereas this MOU signed today was not done unilaterally. But I'm a little bit concerned. What is it that I'm not seeing other people from the other association here with you? I'm going to see a few of your guys who people are trying to be your colleagues. Why?
Everyone can fit here. There are some of our leaders who are happy. If you want to see them, we can call everybody inside. Alright? My leaders are here. And so whatever I do, listen, I'm a leader, I don't just take decisions. If you see that during the past regime, that's one of the things that affected me, right? Because certain people want me, when you are leader of certain people, when they know they have influence, they want you to just come and sign. I want to do what I want to. I told him until my leaders can agree to this, I will not base my signature. So all of our leaders are aware, but guess what? Some of our people will go behind the scene, take small thing from some politician and want to come back. I will not do that. I stand for what I believe, and I am who I am, and this is joking.
And this is just one of the first actions we're taking. But going forward, we intend to visit a lot of your media houses, and including the print media. We're also going to go on the campaign in the field, to go from parking station to parking stations. We intend to print banners to create enough awareness. That is the only reason why we put this time in between. We have signed a memorandum of understanding and said, let's start next week. We're going to even conduct training for their own task force. They've nominated the name of, or submitted the name of about 150 persons, and we're going to screen them. We're going to make sure we provide training for them, because we don't want them to go up in the field and start to do things that are inimical to the well-being of everybody else. So yes, we're concerned about making sure these memorandum of understanding are realized, but we are not doing it in absence of awareness. You will soon see us everywhere. The police band will be to some places. The last time we had a football game in Bannerville Estate with motorcyclists, we intend to continue here across Monrovia in other parts. So of course we're going to engage, not just the ones that listen to the radio, not just the ones that read the newspapers, but we'll be going up to the parking stations and having conversations with them. With the fans, I heard you talking about fans, that might be the reason why you're putting your hands up. So yes, again, there been a time when motorcycles have been issued $50 tickets, $60 tickets for the violation of 3-wheelers and 2-wheelers. Mr. Kenya has really pushed us to the extent he said some of the conditions attached to sign this memorandum of understanding was the motorcyclists are made to, their reporting money is not only $1,000 or $1,500 per day. If you have to give my motorcyclist a ticket of $50 US, $60 US, then we're not partners. So this memorandum, as per this memorandum of understanding, motorcycles who will be in violation will be issued a ticket of not more than 2,000 Liberian dollars. And then if you are registered, you'll be issued a ticket. If you're registered and you got a lesson, you'll be issued a ticket and you can go if you pay. If you are not, your motorcycle will be parked until it's registered, it's insured, and you have a driver license. Same thing applies to the 3-wheelers. The keke riders, I remember myself giving a keke rider a $100 ticket for putting somebody in front. Because you see, the wheels are not made to be spragged and protruded. If you put somebody beside you, how do you turn? I mean, again, Mr. Okuyan was able to turn our hands, and then we all agree in this memorandum of understanding that we will give a ticket to the 3-wheelers now exceeding 4,000 Liberian dollars. If you're registered and you got lessons, you're plated, you pay, it goes into the government revenue, you go. If you're not registered, your keke will remain impounded until you can pay that $4,000 in the government revenue. Register it, insure it, and obtain a driver's permit.
So just to add, right, very soon you will hear us again with the Ministry of Transport. So our work is not just to say, oh, they are parking the police. When the time comes for tax collection along with the Ministry of Transport, because I was called just recently, I want to make it clear that we will be law abiding. Everything that has to do with respecting the law, we are going to work in that line. We've been committed to that, and thank God now we are respected to making sure that we have our say in whatever decision not taken unilaterally like it used to be by the leadership, not recognizing us. But now as long as we have a say, I tell you for free, we are encouraging our people. And they should be on the list because today is John King and president. They know they can be president tomorrow. And I wanted to do the right thing. Let people stop calling up let us stop calling us not everything. Let us start calling us major contributor to the economy. That's what we want to see happening. So we hope and pray you people will join us in this endeavor.
So final question from Farid, please.
Yeah, my name is Farid and I work for the Liberia Broadcasting System. My question has to do with the security aspect. So you, the President, I did hear you talk about uniform and clothing. And then you mentioned about 150,000 motorcyclists in Montserrat. Is it going to be a decentralized program because Montserrat is not Liberia? So what's about other counties?
Well, what we want to do, we want to start with Montserrat. We want to make sure commercial cyclists are distinct from private motorbike riders. When a man leaves from Monrovia, he goes to Mangini, he should be recognized from Monrovia. And we want them to be uniform with their helmet, well dressed, well uniformed, with a number on the helmet, the number on the jacket, the number will be on the motorcycle. So you even who is walking along the road, right? Somebody check your bag or check your phone, check any of your drivers or whatever. You can either identify them by the number on the bike, or the number behind on the jacket, or the number on the helmet. So we are doing this also to help fight crime within our society, not just looking at quote-unquote restricted areas, but we are looking at the public safety, and we want our mothers, our sisters, to stop crying at people checking their phone. We want to know who is doing that. Thank you.
Okay, so at this juncture, we will now do the symbolic, let me not say symbolic, but the signing ceremony. But one or two is going to, symbolically sign on behalf of the Inspector General why Honorable Kenyan is going to sign on behalf of both South and Transact. Just stay right there. Then you can just stay right there. You just stay right there. Just stay right there.
After signing the policy.
So Honorable Kenyan will sign. Sorry, word.
Just move, man. Squat.
Okay, so at this juncture, we want to appreciate.
Then it exchange.
So you could just exchange copies.
Yeah, that's what it is. It has to be stamped and all of that, so as
Yeah, no, that's important.
Exchange is fine.
So we want to say thank you so much, members of the press. We appreciate that we will continue to work together.